What does black privilege look like?
Child, I'm so glad you asked this question. Because it's the fact that y'all don't age. That's black privilege right there. Y'all don't age. Y'all could be 102 and be looking 25. Be 73 looking 18. Be 45 looking 15. I don't like that. I'm white. So when I'm 72, I'm going to look 93. What's the secret?
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
In today's episode, we're going to be reacting to white people as they admire the ability of black people aging slower than them. And in today's episode, both white and black people are gonna be trying to explain this phenomena, but we also have medical evidence as to why black people age slower than white people. Right, it is becoming quite a trend on TikTok for white people to be comparing themselves, especially those ones who are reaching the age of 40s, between 40s and 60s, right? And they're in quite an awe because they can't understand how 40-year-old black women are not aging and they're looking younger, yet they, at that age, are looking like somebody's grandmothers, right? Anyway, guys, let's watch what we prepared for you and then we come back and talk about it. You can let us know what you think about this episode. Also, consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch and then we come back.
Guess the top 5 races that age the best.
Asian.
A certain Asian, though.
East Asian.
East Asian is number 2 on that list. Korean, Chinese, Japanese. They're aging like fine wine.
Sub-Saharan Africans.
Excuse me?
Black don't crack, baby.
Black is number 1 on that list.
I've met guys who are 70 that look 26.
Let me give you a hint here. There's telenovela stars still starring at the age of 50.
Latinos.
Latino are number 3 on the list.
Mamma mia.
I think of Sofia Vergara when I think of this.
What's number 4?
This race has thick hair, strong brows, and eternal drip.
Habibi, come to Dubai. It's Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern is number 4 on that list.
What about Europeans?
No, and I have no idea why.
South Asian.
Think about the race that ran your high school.
Oh, shout out my guy Manny Pacquiao. Filipinos.
Filipinos are number 5 on that list.
In general, black people age better than white people. The black don't crack theory is real, yeah? But now and again you'll mention that to somebody and you'll get someone that isn't black that's a little bit jealous of that fact, and they'll say some shit like, well, yeah, if you think the black people don't age, then you obviously ain't never seen a black crackhead. I have seen black crackheads, right? And I'll tell you something, yes, they do age, right? But I'll tell you who ages worse than a black crackhead, right? And that's a white crackhead. Because if you were to take 2 crackheads and place them side by side, one black, one white, I tell you now, I can almost guarantee that the black crackhead gonna look younger than the white crackhead. Yeah, they both gonna look cracked, but one is gonna look less cracked than the other. Like, they be 35, 40-year-old looking people walking around, black people, and you think, oh, he 35, 40, but he actually 65, 70 years old. That's how good the black people gonna be aging. Now, you take that same 65, 70-year-old and you look at some white people, they look, you be looking at them and say, why, who let this man out of the coffin? Get this man back inside the coffin. Ain't no time for him to be walking around scaring children looking like that. It ain't Halloween. It's July. It ain't October. Put that man back inside his coffin. It's the melanin. Yeah, they got melanin. Oh, if they got melanin, then I'm gonna start eating melons too.
Okay, so there is a term in public health research for what racism does to the black female body over time, and it's called weathering. And once you understand it, it's kind of hard to unsee. So in the early 1990s, public health researcher Arlene Geronimus proposed something that sort of challenged everything that the medical establishment assumed about black health outcomes. She argues that the biological health of black women begins to deteriorate earlier than that of white women, and that the cause isn't genetics, or it's not culture or personal behavior. It's this cumulative physiological cost of living in a society that treats you as less valuable. She called it weathering. The mechanism is chronic stress activation. So like when the body perceives threat consistently over years and decades, discrimination at work, hypervigilance in public spaces, navigating institutions that were never designed for you, and absorbing microaggressions while performing composure. These things pay a biological price. There's cortisol dysregulation, accelerated cellular aging that's measurable at the chromosome level. There's elevated inflammation, cardiovascular strain. Why black women in their 30s show biological markers more consistent with white women in their 40s. This is why black maternal mortality rates are what they are. Educated, middle-class black women don't get to escape this either. The research shows that higher socioeconomic status doesn't protect black women from weathering the way it protects white women. So the stressor isn't poverty, it's racism. The body tends to age under the weight of what it is forced to carry. And it carries that weight regardless of income, education, or professional achievement. So weathering's not a metaphor. It's sort of it's this biological finding with a political cause. So let me ask this now. What would it mean for healthcare policy and community to take seriously the idea that racism itself is a public health crisis?
Do you think black people and white people look at aging very differently?
Older black women love to say, I don't look my age. And I'm like, well, you do look your age. I think it's a cultural myth we like to tell ourselves that, like, well, we're not like white people.
A lot of black women don't agree. And to be honest, the science doesn't agree either. A multinational study found that more than 30% of black women did not report moderate to severe aging until the age of 60 to 79, compared to the ages of 40 and 59 in Caucasian women. So yeah, black doesn't crack. But of course, black women do age, but in a completely different way. One study found that the biggest concern that they had was with pigmentation, not really wrinkles. Plus, the one thing that's going to happen to all of us, whatever our skin tone, is bone reabsorption and general volume loss in your face. If you really want to age gracefully as a black woman, you need to start using retinols, you need to start using tyrosinase inhibitors, and if you want to take it a step further, start doing beauty treatments that will increase the amount of collagen that you have in your face, like microneedling. And most importantly, wear your sunscreen every damn day, and you will age as gracefully as your mom and your grandma did.
If you are white and you see this video, can you please do me a favor and comment how many times a week you put lotion on? I just want to see something, and I really hope this isn't offensive, but I've been seeing some white people say they don't wear lotion that often because you can't see when they're ashy. And it's got me thinking that maybe black and brown people aren't aging so well just because of their melanin, because melanin only gives you about like 5 or 6 SPF protection. But because we have to moisturize very well and very frequently in order to not be walking around ashy. So please let me know how often you moisturize. I'm genuinely curious. I really want to see.
So here, new for 2026, thought we'd go ahead and try this out again. So here is the no makeup, no filter, show your age. And here's mine, right here. No makeup, no filter, nothing. This is 55. I was born in 1970. And actually, I will be 56 on February 5th. So, if you want to come at me, come at me. Because this old gal's had a really rough life. Thanks.
Black women aged 49 through 55 are 7.5 years biologically older than white women. This study looked at the telomere length between black and white women, and what they found was that the telomere length in black women was significantly shorter than that of white women, 7.5 years shorter. These are telomeres, or basically the caps at the end of a chromosome that allow your cells to divide. Once your telomeres run out, your cells can no longer divide efficiently, and this is why we think we age. So why would a black woman, or a minority in general, have an accelerated aging process? We think this is because of biological weathering, which is basically the persistent exposure over a long period of time of physical, social, psychological trauma that causes a person to age more quickly than somebody who doesn't have that trauma. This can lead to more chronic illness at a younger age. Minority communities have faced an immense amount of trauma that manifests itself in their health. If we don't understand where a person is coming from, we can't adequately treat them. We get to the point where just treating disease does not improve overall wellness because we're not addressing the underlying and root cause of that person's issue. This is why public health is so important.
Have you guys seen that video of that white lady talk about, I miss HBCUs, I miss black people? I bet you do. You know, I'm going to tell you guys something. The reason why Caucasian people age the way they do is because when you siphon magic and you put it in non-magical bodies, what happens? They break down. So when you guys talk about energy farming, it's more than what you think it is. We are gifts. We are special, not just because of the shade of your skin. All of you has something within you. When you flow from the source, you are not tapping into it or utilizing tools in order to wield it or reading things to learn from it. You are a piece of it. You are an endless flow. When you take that flow and you put it into something that cannot continuously flow, what happens? It spills out. Their bodies start to deteriorate and break down because you are not a magical entity and you're not supposed to have what we do. I try not to say things like that because it does differentiate us a little bit, but it's time to start doing that. Don't you feel gifted? We've always been. We're different. And it doesn't mean superior because we don't think the way that they do. They came from us, but they came from us displaced. They were not meant to hold the energy that you do. So we watch the deterioration live every single day. It's a very interesting thing for people to openly admit they miss stealing from us. I miss black joy. No, you miss everything that I possess that makes me happy in this world. Because you guys have taken every fucking thing else. Like, I just cannot. People miss the laughter, not just the joy, the laughter, the excitement, the feeling of community, being a family. Like, all of that stuff comes with being black. And it's something that is felt through all of us. So no matter who is in a room and we don't know each other, we all know each other because we all share culture. Like, don't let people energy farm from you. I have a white best friend and she will never consume my energy. She knows who she is and she's content in that. I have other Caucasian friends and family and never do they try to put themselves in spaces they feel they don't belong. You can be an observer and appreciate a culture and not have to be in the middle of it or take from it. And if you do take from it, appreciate that. Give back to it. They don't plan on doing any of that because we've been giving energy for free this entire time and we need to stop doing that. Conserve your shit. You're a free-flowing, magical fucking being on a floating rock. Nobody has the right to utilize you. Don't give yourself away freely.
I love this question. It's a very common misconception, and I'm so glad you've asked this question. So this question was in response to a video that I made about using SPF and how to prevent wrinkles, preventable causes of wrinkles, and avoiding sun exposure. And it is true that actually anyone of skin of color, the more color you have, the more protected you are against having UV ray damage. Why is this? It's a common question. Why? So the actual main reason is because of melanocytes. So melanocytes produce melanin. The more melanin you have in your skin, the more color you have in your skin. And actually melanin has a protective element against the UV rays. It's a complicated mechanism in how it works, but essentially it protects you from UV rays. So this is why you tan. Have you ever been on holiday and noticed that obviously your skin is getting darker the more you are in the sunlight, if you're lucky? This is because your skin is producing more melanin to try to protect itself from the sun exposure. The more fair your skin is, the more you're higher risk of UV damage and actually higher risk of getting skin cancers such as basal cell carcinomas, squamous cell carcinomas, and melanoma. Skin cancers are much more common in the fair skin type, and the more fair you are, the higher risk you are at this.
So guys, welcome back. There are a lot of factors that have been spoken about in today's episode, but let me first begin by the obvious one that both white and black people knew, but apparently not all white people know this fact, right? And that is the lotioning of oneself or of one's body, right? Most black people have come to the internet and have tried advising white people that the reason why they don't age fast is because they constantly keep their skins moisturized, right? And to this fact, white people have come to the internet as well and given a testament that they never used to lotion themselves as often. And there is one episode, I saw a comment under one video here where a white woman was saying that the most she could lotion herself was twice a year before she started seeing the side of black TikTok where they showed white people how to shower and how to moisturize themselves, right? And since then, she started lotioning herself frequently, as frequent as 2 times a day. And after doing this, she started noticing an improvement in her skin. Right, and guys, this is the first time actually I am aware of that whatever there's a guy who was explaining about a medical condition called withering, right? And this is the first time I've honestly heard about that, and I know a lot of you also have heard it for the first time. So it is known, and there's a medical term for what black women go through because of racism and how their body endures this whole situation, and it's quite sad, so I'm asking myself, what if black women, because even with that they still age better than white women, and I'm asking myself, do white people honestly in every level of life, do they know something that the black community doesn't know? They might be knowing it and they don't know they know it. I don't know if I make sense, right? Because you tell me, if black women lived in a world where racism was taken away, can you imagine how good or how better they would age if right now their aging is still good? You get what I'm saying? Because I want to look at also Africans and how they age. Honestly, I go to the villages. In the cities, you can't compare us folks who live in the city with those ones who live in the village. I normally see village folks at 70 years old. They age much slower than us. At 70 years old, someone is looking like he's 40, and they're working really well. They're good. They don't even have lotions. Honestly, a lot of them don't even apply moisturizers, but these people age well. Like the wrinkles is not really, it's there, but they look younger than their age. If somebody opens their mouth to tell you that they're 70 years old, you can't even begin to imagine, Right. And also, there was a doctor here who was talking, and she said that one of the main reasons why black people don't age as fast as white people is thanks to the melanin in our skin, right? Which gives us protective coat against the sun's UV, right? Also, another reason why she said that black people age slower than white people is because black people have a thicker dermis than white people, right? That is the one that is found on our skin. It's much thicker than that of white people. And another reason why they attribute our aging slower to science is also because our bone density is much heavier than white people, especially when we get to an older age. Ours starts to fade away at a slower rate than compared to how the ones of white people fade. Right. It's interesting. Every day I'm learning something new about white people. If you had told me that black people have thicker bone density, I wouldn't have believed it, because I look at us as like we are all human beings, because we all have red blood flowing within our veins, but it's interesting quite to learn about, the differences that white people have from black people, and I feel like melanin also plays a huge role between different races, because there was a list that was being shown of people who age slower, right? And they had categorized it into top 5, right? And I wasn't surprised that Asians made the cut. I wasn't surprised that Filipinos made the cut, and I wasn't surprised that black people took the lead, because we have the most hue, we have the most melanin out of all these groups, right? But white people were not on that list, which makes sense, right? Because you even look at aging slowly. When you look at Filipinos, guys, they really look good, and it's no surprise because they do have a good percentage of melanin, you know. And you also look
Compared
at
to white people,
compared to white people, and these people have good genes. And Asians are normally praised for having really good genes, you know. When you look at their cheekbones, also I
don't think that Asians have when it comes to cheekbones, and actually that is the reason why most Asians, especially Chinese and Koreans, all those Asians, they usually look to marry either black, well, because of racism they don't of course marry black people, but they usually look to marry white people is because jawbones, they don't have sharp jawbones compared to black and white and other races.
Really?
Yeah, and if you look at their chin, for the most part it's usually a bit shorter than everybody. That is why they usually like to marry white people, so that they can give their children that jawbone structure. So
Okay.
God gives
you some and
denies you some.
Right, but also I also admire the kind of food Asians eat. I do believe that also diet plays into aging, because when you compare also what white people eat, a lot of hamburgers, like this I feel like junk food became a thing because of white people, you know. And if you can't cook good food for your kids or yourself, you know, for that matter, your body becomes literally the physical presentation of what you're eating. If you're eating garbage, then you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna start looking like what you're eating, you know.
Right. And the nerve of that white person to say that not all black people age well. And yes, crackheads won't age as well as normal
that was
people,
a funny
but it was a funny comment that the white man was saying.
He put his
to be
point
fair,
across.
put a black crackhead and a white crackhead together, the white crackhead will still look old. So with that being said, guys, let us know what you think about this episode down on the comment section. Also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode. Thank you so much for watching.